Hey guys, it's Matt here, Smappy3, depending on how you all know me by. So I kind of talked about it a little bit at the end of that little test stream that we did for Final Fantasy, but I wanted to make a more concoct video down for everyone. So essentially, I've kind of talked about this over the past few streams and stuff, about how for a while I've been kind of feeling that I didn't really know how long streaming was going to work for this channel. And honestly, it all kind of started impromptu for me to begin with. Initially, when we started streaming about a year ago, because we actually started doing it last summer as much as we did, the idea had just been that I wanted to play that Sonic Origins game, and I'm like, I'll just do it in a stream because I feel like it'd be easier to do that than edit all these parts together with the little time I had to be editing at that time. And so it was a lot of like on the fly, just stream it and go, stream it and go, which for the most part was fine and it was fun. And at the same time, I ended up doing that the Until Dawn sequel, the Corey, that's what it's called. Jesus, I couldn't think of the name. And I just figured, I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm like, that would be a good game to stream. I'm like, that way I can prove that I don't know much about the game. Because that was the issue with Until Dawn. The whole reason I got interested in it is I watched an Achievement Hunter playthrough of it back in like 2015 or 16 when it came out. And so I already knew most of the decisions anyway. And so I'm like, this will just be a fun way to go through it together, kind of test everything out. And we actually did pretty well. I'm pretty sure for that one we only lost like one guy, and that was like a quick stupid mistake. But the point is that after that we just kind of kept streaming and streaming and streaming. I wasn't really expecting to do that. It just sort of happened, which was fine. I mean, I enjoyed getting to do it, but as time went on, especially over this year of doing it, as much as I like coming in and streaming weekly and doing all this stuff, it sort of reached a point where I was starting to get a little tired of coming home every Tuesday and Thursday and doing it. And I sort of talked like Final Fantasy was a big thing for me because it was one of the first times in a while where I came home and was like, yes, I actually really want to stream this game. I really want to play it. And it wasn't like some of them where it was like, oh God, I got to go sit down for 2.5 hours and play this game on stream, which isn't always something you want to be doing. And it's something that I don't know if I've talked about it too much on the channel, but I've really started to kind of step away from a whole lot of gaming of late. It's not that I don't like, I still enjoy games. I still play them a lot. I do it a lot on weekends with like friends and stuff. But part of it for me is just the fact that like there's a few games that definitely still interest me. Like this Final Fantasy for sure is one of them, and I'm still super big on that Spider-Man game that's going to be coming out later. But like it was a sort of expensive hobby because I'm like I wanted to keep doing new games. And so there are games that like I was buying that I wouldn't have ever played if it wasn't for stream. Like I bought that Spider game. I bought the SpongeBob game, which were all the Spider game sucked, to be honest. No offense to whoever that was. That was a bad game. But the SpongeBob one was fun. But that was just one of those things where I'm like, I got things I really should be saving up for. And I'm like, they're not expensive. I mean, most of these games are like anywhere between 40 to $60, but they still sort of add up. And so I was just like, and then it like reached a point as well where I'm like, I want to be playing games that are games that are new. I have other games I could play, but I didn't always want to jump back to older ones and stuff like that. And so eventually it just reached a point where there were so many things coming at me where I'm like, I just don't know how much streaming is going to keep being viable for me. And I mean, a part of it too is that there's smaller view counts. Like we had some pretty impressive ones for this channel. Like, I mean, you guys that have been around for a while probably know, like we get maybe 10 views a video when I would release a video normally. Recently that's been going up. I think the most recent video I released was a Star Wars one, which got like 200, and I was like, holy shit. I'm like, I don't know why 200 people came to watch that one, but hey, always nice to see. But like, I've never tried to be so much of a big numbers person because a lot of this channel, like when I first started, I always kind of thought that way. And then as time moved on, I got to this point in life, I was just like, this is more just a thing that I want to do for fun because I don't expect to ever reach a point where I'm like the YouTuber status or whatever, where it's like, this is what I do forever. It's not what I'm expecting, especially not from this channel. This channel really was just whatever the hell I want to do, I'm going to do it and not really worry about it. I mean, most of my stuff can't get monetized anyway because they have all the rules about if you swear in a video, it's gone. And the amount of times I've said fuck in almost every stream, I'm pretty sure they'd be pissed at me. But yeah, it reached a point where I'm like, a part of doing this is A, it's supposed to be stuff I want to do that's fun, and B, it's supposed to be something that isn't taking up a whole bunch of time. And I've talked about how I have other projects that I'm working on that are a bit more monetary possibilities. It's not that it could have, I mean, there's a possibility they don't, but definitely has a bit more push where it could do that. And they're also just more important to me than this. Like I said, I like doing the channel. I like doing all this stuff, but it's reached a point where it wasn't going to be something that was viable forever. And I'm checking the time here because I know I'm probably going long on this. Yeah, 5 minutes is probably a lot for this, but I did just kind of want to go over things because I'm like, I know there wasn't always people coming, but there are some names that I was recognizing that were coming in a lot. And I'm like, I just wanted to be honest with everyone. It's got nothing to do with the views on the channel or anything like that. Like, even if I was getting a lot of people, this probably would have came out eventually. I mean, I guess if I was getting enough people, I probably wouldn't have a choice at that point. I would have to keep going. But thankfully, I never pushed myself into that category. So I sort of saved myself from that one because I know there are some people out there that are streaming big time that probably don't like it as much as they did a year or two ago when they started. And so I'm lucky enough that I got to do a year of it, realize it's not fully for me, and I can back out now because I don't have that following that's suddenly going to be like, oh, what the fuck? And I do have a full-time job on the not the side. I guess that's my primary thing, but at least I have that to fall back on that not people that are streaming full-time do. But yeah, so I mean, a lot of my journey with content creation really has just been trying things, finding what I like, and finding things that after a year of doing them, if I still like doing them or going away from them. I mean, and that does happen. Like, we had from 2021 to 2022, we had the Minecraft series going, which was fun to do, but eventually the same thing happened where I got burnt out. Didn't really realize I was getting burnt out at the time. And then after there was something that happened that was like, holy cow, I'm really reinvigorated in this. And then as soon as that ended again, I'm like, holy cow, I'm like, these were really good compared to what's happened of late. And that's really been a big problem with the streams, is that I got super excited with Final Fantasy because I've really enjoyed this game. I got fucked by a lot of technical issues while doing it, which those of you that were around for that know how frustrated I got while dealing with that. And so it's kind of where we're at with that. And so my original plan was we were going to finish Final Fantasy, then end streams. As I explained at the end of that test stream, and as I wanted to talk about a little bit now, as we're already running over, so I'm probably going to try and make this quick. We have some issues going on. My old capture card is over 10 years old, and it's been shitting the bed. And some of you that have been here for streams have noticed it. It really started happening. We had our first one happen to us a year ago, where Sonic was freezing. It happened like once or twice. But the thing was, is most of it would happen like once every month, once every other month. Recently, it started happening once a week, to the point where it now happens like once or twice a stream. And so finally I was looking into it and I realized I'm like, this old capture card is A, it's old, and B, its life is dying away. It can't handle this anymore. And around the same exact time, we had an issue with our internet. So there was a storm that occurred around me about 6-7 months ago, back more in the winter. A pipe burst and our street got flooded. For the most part, everything had been fine till this point, but I think the freezing in the winter kind of held it back. Eventually what ended up happening, though, is that the water messed with, like, the internet lines here. And I guess, I'm not fully sure, because my dad was the one that talked to the Spectrum guy. Our building got hit with it first, and a lot of the other buildings around us are getting hit with it now. And essentially what the Spectrum guy explained to us is that in order to fix it, they need to get someone to come here and kind of dig up all of the area around us, which thankfully isn't money from us. We live in like a homeowners thing. We're like in a condo, so that's on them. And honestly, I'm glad on that because these guys can go fuck themselves. This area sucks. But anyway, yeah, so that's happening. So it's kind of fucked over our internet. And the Spectrum guy did say they did a lot to try and help us out. And at least now we get internet, because there was a solid week where we weren't really getting it at all. And that was pretty bad. You guys sort of know about that. I kind of blamed it on other things because I didn't want to go super into it at the time, but there was that week where I'm like, oh, I can't stream, I'm feeling sick, or this is going on, or that's going on. That was because of this. I didn't want to go super into it at the time, so like, I don't know what it is. I'm like, maybe it's the internet, maybe it's something else. I think I blamed it on being sick one day, and then I think I blamed it on like family or something the other day. But yeah, so internet's a problem, capture thing's a problem, and so I bought a new capture thing, which is really nice. It works really well. It actually has better quality than the one that I had. The problem is so you can kind of see this stupid fucker behind me. So in 2018, 2019, around Christmas, one of those years, I bought that thing. I was an idiot back then. I didn't really do much research. I just knew I want a Windows desktop computer. And so I went into a Best Buy and asked the Best Buy rep, what is a good computer that I can buy that will let me edit videos and do gaming? And not really thinking of the fact that I was talking to like a kid that was fresh out of high school, maybe early college. He just pointed me to a computer. I spent $1,500 on it, set it up, and it's always not been a great computer. It's slow, it's bad, it's worse than the laptop that I'm hooked into right now. But because of that, it's reached a point where I've had this laptop now for 8 years, and it still runs faster than this thing that I've had since, like, I think it was 2019 that I bought it. But it's one of those things where this thing seems like it's 12 years old, and this thing feels like it's maybe 5. And so right now, for some reason too, and I don't know, maybe this was a used one and they told me it was new. I don't know what's going on. I don't want to go too much into it because outside of that one experience, Best Buy's been good to me, so I don't want to shit on them too much here. But whatever happened, this computer isn't very good at running new stuff. And so when I downloaded the new utility app and the software to run video from the capture device, it kept telling me it was incompatible where the laptop doesn't. So the laptop can record things fine. I've tested the laptop's recording abilities. Unfortunately, though, for some reason with the stream is dropping frames. I think it's just the fact that it is a laptop trying to run something that is about 10 years beyond it. This is still a laptop from 2015, and so it's not working well. And so between just like personal issues and now dealing with the technical issues, streaming it's getting called off a little bit sooner than I expected. I was anticipating to end it by the end of this summer anyway. We're ending a bit before just cause all this. So anyway, beyond that, and again, I know I'm running long. I apologize. I can never keep anything to what it's supposed to be unless I write a script. And even then, that doesn't work. But, so our plan going forward is there's going to be 2 big things that are going to happen on this channel from now on. The first is more of like edits. So for some of the videos you guys seen, like you saw the Star Wars ones that are up. There's also those God of War. What I'm going to do is I'm basically going to record like 24-ish to whatever many hours it takes to beat a game. Some of these games take like 60 hours nowadays. And cutting them up into smaller, digestible parts. Like God of War, I think in total had like 40 hours of gameplay. Maybe 50 that got cut down into like 4. I think it was like 25-minute parts. So that's going to be something that we'll do because, I don't know, I just feel like that's kind of fun, interesting, especially for like the older games that like we know how they end, we know how they go. You don't really need the full video experience with that. So it'll just be highlights, fun stuff, because honestly, I don't watch a lot of gaming content anymore. It's just not for me all the time. But that's one of the gaming content videos I still watch. For anyone that doesn't know him, I'm just going to shout him out. KevDoit on YouTube is a huge YouTuber I've been watching now. I think he's super funny and entertaining. And his videos are stuff that I watch. Because I think those are really well done, and they're just a fun, digestible way to watch gaming content. And so I've been thinking of doing something a little bit more like that. Because I'm like, the idea of always the stuff I did on YouTube was stuff that I saw that I was basically watching. I'm like, I want to create content that I would watch. And the fact that I don't really watch full gameplay video stuff anymore is kind of a thing that's like, well, why am I making it then? That being said, excuse me, I know my voice is fucking up now, talking too long, but there are some times where I do watch full gameplay videos, and those are games that more really interest me, or they're coming from people I really want to see the reaction through to the full game. And so I know I'm not really in that second category. I'm not really well known, and I accept that. That's where I'm at. But there are a few games that I really am interested in doing the full experience for. And so essentially we're going to have those highlights that are coming out. There's also going to be these essentially what I'm going to call like full playthroughs or whatever, I guess. But essentially what I'm going to do there is I'm going to take anywhere from maybe like 2 to 3 hours to like 6 to 7, something like that. And basically run them like a stream where we'll put them up. It'll be Premiere so people can comment and we can comment together at the time. And so it'll basically be like a false live. Where it's not going to be live, but like the commenting works with it. We can comment together, watch it together. And we'll do that with like the full plays. And maybe we'll do those during some like the normal stream time. It's just they're not going to happen every week like streams were, but maybe we'll run it. Like for this game, we can run stuff Tuesday, Thursday. When Spider-Man comes out, we can run stuff that way. But that's just kind of the way that I'm seeing stuff going for the time being. And it helps me because that opens up my time to kind of work on the stuff that I want to focus on more anyway. But yeah, I mean, the channel's still going to exist. There's still going to be stuff coming up. It's just not going to be as consistent. My goal is to go more for quality over quantity here. So we might only get 1 or 2 videos a month here, but that's what it's going to be. And hopefully they're better videos. So hopefully it gives you more incentive to actually want to watch them when they come around this time. Now, beyond that, I do want to go over some other stuff, and I know we're going long, so I apologize. I said I'll make this quick, but I'm definitely not going to. So, the other side of this that I want to split up here is, so I've talked about I have a bunch of different projects in the works. Most of these are stuff I don't want to talk about right now, mostly because of the fact that they're a bit more involved to them and stuff. As we get closer to those stuff coming to fruition, though, I might talk about them a little bit just because it's marketing, so why the fuck not? If it gets word out there, we'll do it. But most of those are still very, very in like the main production stage, so they're not worth talking about now because I have no idea when they're going to come out, or even if they'll come out at all. I'm thinking at this point I got everything figured out, but I used to think that all the time and it never did. So we're going to keep those quiet. But the one thing I do want to talk about is it's going to get linked at the end of this video. You may have seen it already. I do have a second channel that I'm starting up and working on right now. And that channel goes a little bit more into some of the other stuff that I watch and stuff that I care about. And so I've kind of talked to you guys a little bit, and it's been talked about over the years that I went to school for video production and stuff like that. And one of the big issues I had with that is that, like, I like the people, there was a lot of useful stuff in it, but the curriculum itself wasn't super helpful. And I feel like, depending on the film school you go to, you might have a different experience. But one of the big issues I really had with film school is that the curriculum wasn't super geared to help for what I was trying to do. They were very big on the idea of marketing and like, oh, experimental stuff and all this stuff, and they weren't really geared towards like storytelling or creating content in a way for consumers so much as for like the snobby Hollywood elites that are like, oh, look at all these Oscar things, or look at all these the way that you can get attention from people with these documentaries. And nothing against those people, like I respect the people that do that. We need all sorts of things, but my drive in content creation and creating stories and all that stuff has always been from my own perspective of, I want something that's fun. I want something that's enjoyable. I want characters that I feel attached to and relate to and really like. I don't want to go watch a movie about a woman that wants to fuck a fish for 2 hours because I can't relate to that. I know I threw some shade at one person, my bad. But anyway, I was thinking, just because the storytelling is a very interesting thing to kind of go through because of the fact that there's not really one correct way to do it. A lot of people have different strategies. And one of the cool things that I did get out of that program is I got to talk to a lot of professors and a lot of fellow students that all had their own techniques and stuff in there that I was able to adapt to and kind of use. And now I have my own sort of storytelling, like dynamic techniques process that I use. So I want to create a channel that talks a little bit more about that. And it sort of works as a way to help people that are within the same boat as me that kind of want to learn to do that stuff too. And I know I'm in no way a professional. I haven't really released anything critically acclaimed. But at the same time, as somebody that's kind of gone through the steps, gone through the processes, and has been working on stuff over the years that haven't always panned out, but at least I've had the experience of working on things, I want to help give people the thing that I didn't always get, which was direction from some early age or just from an outside thing. And just open it up as a forum as well where people can come into the comments, talk about their own processes so we can all continue learning from each other. Because that's the one thing I really lost coming out of college, is that I don't have that community as much anymore, which I probably would have had if COVID didn't fuck everything up and split people up for like 2.5 years, but is what it is. With that being said, I figure we can use this channel as a way to kind of build on that and open that back up. But that will get linked. It's animated storytelling. I have 2 sort of special videos up right now. One of them was about my sort of disdain with them killing off Star-Lord in Infinity War, and the other is just a quick talk about One Piece adaptations and the way that Netflix can make a pretty interesting series if we all give it a chance. But anyway, that was everything I wanted to go over here. So for the too long didn't watch people, because I know this is super long, and I wouldn't blame you if you stopped watching. No more streams, those are over. Sorry if you enjoyed them. I enjoyed getting to do them with you guys, but The time has come, they're going. Internet issues, technical issues, personal issues. Another channel is opening up. I think I just fucked up my count because I don't think I have 3 things I said, but whatever. But yeah, so new channel, animated storytelling. Gonna be sporadic like this one. You'll probably get 1 or 2 videos a month. Right now, they're just sort of random stuff happening. There's gonna be more videos coming out a bit closer to the fall because I'm currently editing, working, and scripting some of those right now. And then beyond that, I just want to take more time away from the YouTube side of things because while I do enjoy doing YouTube, I have more creative projects I'm working on that don't really exist within that realm that just are sort of priority for me. Because the thing is that while I do enjoy doing YouTube and I enjoy getting to be creative here, my creative aspiration really hasn't been in creating gaming content or just video content, vlog stuff here. It's always been more in creating different stories, different worlds, and things to tell. And so I'm already 27. Who knows how long I got left? So I'd like to find a way to start focusing on that and making sure that that's something I get to do and have my best shot at before I eventually kick it. Hopefully in like 50, 60 years from now, but who knows?